I've previously reviewed the Loch Lomond Reserve Blended Scotch Whisky as part of my Cheap Week. And this time, I'm tackling the next rung up their blended Scotch ladder, in terms of cost anyway, the Loch Lomond Signature Blended Scotch Whisky. But remember, it's not a blended Scotch, it's a single blended Scotch. But anyway, I'm going to stop splitting hairs any second now. This is Whisky. I'm John Chidgey. Always remember to drink responsibly in moderation and when and where appropriate. Feel free to like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and visit engineer.network/whisky without the E to learn how you can support the show. Thank you. The Signature costs $58 Australian for a 700ml bottle from First Choice Liquor, but I grabbed this one on special for $52 Australian. On base price though, that still makes it $10 more than the Reserve. It doesn't quite make the ultra cheap level. Still, it has no age statement. It has a 40% ABV, and it is both chill filtered and it is also coloured. And once again, to remind you that there's likely a sad part to this particular story, the last time the Signature was listed on the Loch Lomond website was on the 14th of September of 2019, just like the Reserve was. And it's also very likely that it's been discontinued. At that time, it was considered to be part of their global travel range, but I guess it probably isn't anymore. The difference between the Reserve and this offering seems to come from the manner of manufacturing. The Reserve is a more traditional cask-to-vat method in batches, whereas the Signature uses a Solera system. And I just realised that I've actually never talked about that before. So what is a Solera? Soleras were originally a winemaking system or method for blending and aging that's technically best described as fractional aging and a semi-continuous blending method, when applied to a vatting system at least anyway. In a vatted system, lesser aged whiskey is added to the vat, mixed, and then an equal amount are removed and bottled until the next lesser aged whiskey enters the vat. In the more traditional system, there are tiers of barrels. The top tier are the youngest that are then mixed to the next layer down after a period of time, blending with the contents of the next layer down, and this repeats until reaching the bottom layer, when the bottom layer has become a mixture of many different ages of whiskey, but all of a minimum age, if that makes any sense. Another note of potential interest about the Loch Lomond is that in the late 2025, they'll be expanding their facilities alongside Loch Lomond and adding a new visitors centre. Pretty exciting. The website used to have the following to say about their Loch Lomond Signature offering, saying that it's a deluxe blended whiskey, which after a long and slow maturation is then married and conditioned in our 100-barrel cask Solera. Cool. The Solera system combines Oloroso sherry casks and American oak casks that have been recharred to create an intensity and a smoothness unique to Loch Lomond. Cool. I like that. So that tells us obviously that it is a barrel-based cask Solera system. So I like Oloroso sherry casks. Who doesn't? So yeah, that should be interesting. Now the website also used to have some rather verbose tasting notes. Kind of like the Reserve did, so yeah. If you remember that review, by the way, you can find that other review here if you're curious. They're a little bit on the wordy side, but we're gonna slog through it because why the hell not? On the nose, very aromatic, fortified wine style nose, plump, rich sultana with very subtle but vinous sherried tinges, not overpowering but clear and direct. Almost a smoky quality once the darker fruit notes subside. Okay. On the palate, it's a surprisingly malty and firm palate. I don't know what a firm palate is. Is that when someone puts their fingers on your tongue? Whatever. This structure remains throughout, but with layers of ripe pears and cinnamon, ginger and dark sugar notes, each taking their turn to appear as the palate develops. Mild hints of dried fruits finish this off. The maltiness is chewy in quality and effect. Cool. On the finish, the dried fruit notes take on an almost blackcurrant tone, more astringent, the sweetness curbed by notes of lemon tartness towards the end. God, I'm glad I got through that. Alright, enough ado, enough. Let's see what this is like. Now, I have not actually tasted this before, so this is the first time I've ever tried it. I'm going to see what we get. For an extra $10. See how we do, shall we? So I'm going to call that kind of a, I don't know, like a light gold color again, but I don't know. I have this issue with caring about that color when there's coloring added, so like whatever. Now the legs are running, some of them are running a little bit quicker. They're breaking away and they're making, oh yeah, they really are making a break for it. But then it's chill filtered, so you get what you get and you don't get upset. All right, let's see what we get in the nose. Oh, that's a lot more interesting. Whew, much more interesting than the reserve, that's for damn sure. Oh, gee, that's kind of nice. That is nice vanilla, nice caramel. Yeah, but obviously I can still get that. I can still get the grain. It is quite pronounced. It is very clearly a blend, but that's okay. We are not single malt snobs here. He says as 9/10 of his whiskey collection is a single malt. The irony of that is lost on me, okay? Come on. All right, what else do I get here? I got a little bit of, almost a bit of, I think that's pear. It reckons darker fruits. I'm not sure I agree with that. I do get a little bit of light sherry on that. So it's clearly, it's been in, and it's not a sweet sherry either, so that's definitely Oloroso. Because the difference between Oloroso and PX sherry, I'm getting much better at picking that. It's not PX, clearly. It's not that sweet. Oh, I'm dying to try this. Let's see how we go. Oh, so that's all right. Oh, it's definitely a step up. Definitely a good step up from the reserve. No question. The mouthfeel on it is, if I could describe it, it's a strange mixture of it. I want to call it really lightly creamy, but it's also a bit watery. So it doesn't really stick around. You can't really chew on it. But hey, it's... Oh, I don't mind it though. It's, you know, got to keep in mind the price point here, right? It's, And the finish has got a nice light warmth to it. It's slightly astringent. I don't think it's that harsh at all. Get a bit of lemon on that finish, definitely. Yeah, I'm getting lemon throughout my palate, actually. It's kind of nice, actually. He reckons it's got an almost smoky quality. I'm not getting anything like that. If it's got a subtle bit of peat in it, I'm not finding it. Let's have another go. All right. I'm definitely getting pear on that. Really subtle ginger. Not that strong at all. It is sweet, but it's not overly sweet. It's not super sweet. That burn on the beginning of the palate, just in the front, and then the nice warmth on the finish. It is kind of nice, I've got to say. It is, it's not bad for $58. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty impressive. And like the reserve, I'm kind of sad they're not making it anymore. At least apparently they're not. That blows. Oh, damn. All right. It's, okay. To compare it to the reserve, it is far more complex than the reserve. The Oloroso adds a nice bit of depth to it. But at the same time, it doesn't blow me away. But then I wasn't really necessarily expecting it to blow me away. It is nice. If I had a choice between this and the reserve side by side, I'd pick this every time. But here's the question, right? Is this signature bottle, is this worth an extra $10 on top of the reserve? Assuming I can still find it, of course. Well, that is the question. All right, let's rank this baby. So, in terms of cost, it's a 1. So it is very, very affordable. Well, very affordable. Not very, very, but very affordable. And it's right on that line with ultra affordable too, so that doesn't hurt. But then so is the Chivas 12. Not comparing to the Chivas 12, but I have to say it is a very different kind of dram to the Chivas 12. I would say that the Chivas 12 is, you know, it's pleasant in a different way. But honestly, I'm really enjoying this. It's not quite enough to make me smile, if I'm fair, if I'm honest. So it's definitely a 2, but is it a solid 2 or is it a high 2? Because I gotta be honest, I'm really kind of falling a little bit for Loch Lomond, and their scotches are really quite nice. They suit my palate, you know. But having said that, you know, if I could choose between this and a Chivas 12, or if they were next to each other, about the same kind of price, oh, it's a line ball call on that, eh? Seriously. It's definitely a 2. I would say it's tending towards a high 2, to be honest, but only just. But even so, given the price, that makes it a green. You know, honestly, generally keeping some of these on hand would be a good idea. And I can see myself, would I get this over the reserve though? I reckon I would, eh? The extra $10, I reckon it's kind of worth it. I mean, if I'm like really, really strapped for cash and I got nothing left, then maybe I'd go for the reserve. But honestly, it's not that much more. I reckon I'd just pay the money and get this. So Loch Lomond's signature. I'm sad you're gone. Well, they're not gone, you're going. As stocks are going, maybe I should grab a couple just before they're gone. But this is not bad. For the price, it's a bargain. So honestly, thanks again, Loch Lomond. I love your work. Cheers. See you next time. It's good for the price, that's for damn sure. I like it.